Welcome back to the channel Valuable Coins HD, where we uncover the hidden treasures of American coinage and explore the incredible stories behind rare and valuable coins that might still be hiding in your change jar. Today we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and beloved coins in the history of the United States, the 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1937. This tiny piece of copper may look ordinary to the untrained eye, but it carries with it a story of American history, craftsmanship, and unexpected fortune that has fascinated collectors for generations. From its symbolic design to the rare variations that make it worth thousands, this coin represents an era when every cent mattered and every design detail told a story. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video you'll find out why the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny could turn out to be one of the most valuable pennies you've ever seen. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 as a tribute to the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it was the first United States coin to feature a real person's portrait on its obverse. Before that, coins typically depicted symbols of liberty, but the decision to place Lincoln on the 1-cent coin marked a new era in American coin design. Sculptor Victor David Brenner created the now famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln based on a photograph taken by Matthew Brady showing Lincoln in a thoughtful pose that captured both strength and humility. It was meant to remind Americans of the enduring values that Lincoln stood for: honesty, perseverance, and unity during one of the most challenging periods in the nation's history. Now fast forward to the year 1937, a time when the Great Depression was still affecting the country, but hope and recovery were slowly returning to the American people. During this period, the Lincoln wheat penny was one of the most widely circulated coins in the nation, and millions were produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, each carrying its own unique mint mark or lack thereof. The Philadelphia mint struck coins without a mint mark, while the Denver mint coins bore a small d, and the San Francisco mint coins carried a small s below the date. Though these coins were made in large quantities, not all 1937 pennies are equal. Some have rare characteristics, minting errors, and perfectly preserved conditions that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Today, when you hold a 1937 Lincoln wheat penny, you are holding a piece of history that tells the story of America's strength during hard times. On the obverse or front side of the coin you'll see Abraham Lincoln facing right. The inscriptions read, "I in God we trust" across the top, liberty to the left, and the year 1937 to the right of Lincoln's bust with a mint mark below the date. If it was produced in Denver or San Francisco, turn the coin over to the reverse and you'll find the classic wheat ears design, which gives the coin its nickname wheat penny. Two curved stalks of wheat frame the words 1 cent in the center, with United States of America below and E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one at the top. This design represents the nation's agricultural roots and the prosperity that the country hoped to rebuild during the difficult years of the 1930s. But what truly makes some 1937 Lincoln wheat pennies special are the unique variations and mint errors that occurred during production. The U.S. Mint used multiple dies to strike these coins, and sometimes imperfections in those dies or slight misalignments resulted in rare and collectible varieties. One of the most well-known types of errors collectors search for in the 1937 series is the double die error, where parts of the coin's design, especially the date or lettering, appear slightly doubled. This happened when the die used to strike the coin shifted slightly between strikes, creating a shadow-like doubling effect on the surface of the coin. Another interesting error to look out for is an off center strike, where the design is not perfectly aligned within the coin's circular shape, producing a visible blank area around the edge, which makes the coin unique and highly sought after. Even coins that don't have obvious minting errors can still be worth a great deal if they are in exceptional condition. Most 1937 pennies were used heavily in circulation and show signs of wear, like scratches and faded details, but those that were carefully stored or forgotten in collections over the decades sometimes remain in mint state condition, meaning they look almost brand new. Coins that have strong details, full luster, and sharp lines are graded by professional organizations like PCGS or NGC and can reach very high grades on the Sheldon scale. Coins graded MS65 or higher are considered exceptionally well preserved, and their value increases dramatically. The type of metal used also plays a role in the coin's appeal. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny is made primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which gives it that rich reddish-brown tone. Collectors often refer to these color variations as red-brown or red, depending on how much of the original luster remains. A 1937 penny with a deep original red shine is much rarer than one that has turned dark brown from oxidation, and those red coins are the ones that bring the biggest prices at auction because they show minimal signs of aging and perfect preservation. Another important factor for collectors is the mint mark location and Sharpness. Some 1937 D and 1937 S coins have slightly misplaced or filled mint marks caused by grease or debris on the die, which created subtle variations that experts can identify under magnification. While these tiny details might seem insignificant to the casual observer, to a numismatist they can make the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth thousands, and that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Even the smallest detail can completely change the story and value of a coin. The 1937 wheat penny has become one of the most beloved coins in American history because it connects collectors to a time when pennies had real buying power and symbolized hope during hard times. Imagine all the places a 1937 penny might have traveled: a pocket of a factory worker during the Depression, a store counter during the early recovery years, or maybe tucked away in a jar as a child's first savings. Now, decades later, that same coin could hold far more than sentimental value. It could hold a fortune waiting to be discovered. Every coin has a story, but some stories are worth more than others, and when it comes to the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny, the combination of its age, beauty, and rarity makes it a collector's dream. Many coin enthusiasts search through rolls of old pennies hoping to find one of these hidden gems in pristine condition, and when they do, it becomes more than just a coin. It becomes a piece of living history preserved through time. The thrill of discovering a rare 1937 Lincoln wheat penny is something every collector dreams of, because the difference between a common coin and an extraordinary one could be as small as a slight doubling of the date or a tiny mint mark imperfection that most people would never even notice. This is why experts recommend always checking your change carefully and using a magnifying glass to look for those small but valuable details, because treasures like these often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye to uncover them. So, what makes the most valuable 1937 Lincoln wheat penny stand out from the rest? It's a combination of rarity, perfection, and preservation. The coins that have never been touched by human hands, those that have maintained their brilliant red color, sharp details, and flawless surfaces, are the ones that command the highest prices among collectors. These exceptional coins have become legendary in numismatic circles and continue to increase in value as more people discover the beauty and significance of early Lincoln wheat pennies. And now for the part you've been waiting for, the most pristine and valuable 1937 Lincoln wheat penny ever discovered. A coin with extraordinary detail, a deep red color, and an incredible mint state grade was sold for an astonishing $143,200. Yes, that's right, $143,200 for a single penny. So before you spend that old penny or let it sit forgotten in a jar, take a closer look at it, because you might just be holding a piece of American history worth far more than you can imagine. Check the date, the mint mark, and the details on both sides, because one small detail could mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a life-changing treasure. Today we are diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1958, a coin that might look small and ordinary at first glance, but carries with it a remarkable story of American heritage, craftsmanship, and incredible potential value. This little penny represents more than just currency. It is a symbol of an era, a piece of history that has survived decades of circulation, and for collectors it is a treasure waiting to be discovered. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it was the first circulating coin in the United States to feature a real person's portrait. Before this time, coins only featured symbolic representations of liberty or allegorical figures. The decision to place Lincoln on the 1-cent coin was revolutionary. It honored a president whose leadership, courage, and vision helped preserve the Union during one of the most challenging periods in American history. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose sculpting captured Lincoln's determined expression and thoughtful gaze, a design that has become timeless and has remained the foundation for the Lincoln penny for over a century. By the time the year 1958 arrived, the United States was experiencing post-war growth and prosperity, but coins like the Lincoln wheat penny remained an everyday part of American life. Millions were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia coins were produced without a mint mark, while the Denver coins bore a small d below the date. Though these pennies were widely circulated, not all of them were created equal. Some survived in pristine condition and some featured subtle minting variations and errors that have become highly sought after by collectors today. When you hold a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny, you are holding a piece of history in your hand. On the obverse side, you'll see the familiar left-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The inscriptions read "In God We Trust" along the top, Liberty to the left, and the date 1958 to the right. If there is a small d below the date, it indicates the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Turn the coin over and you'll find the reverse side with the classic wheat ears design. 2 stalks of wheat frame the words 1 cent in the center with United States of America below and the motto E Pluribus Unum at the top. The wheat ears symbolize the country's agricultural roots and prosperity, while the overall design reflects a sense of balance, elegance, and historical continuity that collectors truly appreciate. What makes some 1958 Lincoln wheat pennies particularly special are the rare minting errors and variations that occurred during production. Slight misalignments, double dies, or die cracks can turn an ordinary penny into a valuable collectible. For instance, a double die error occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once at slightly different angles, producing a shadow effect on the lettering or numbers. These types of errors are particularly prized by collectors because they are unique and can never be exactly replicated. Another notable feature to look for is the condition of the coin. Uncirculated pennies with sharp details, full luster, and strong strikes are far more valuable than those that show wear and tear from decades of use. The type of copper and the coin's color also significantly affect its value. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This gives it a warm reddish-brown tone. Over time, pennies naturally oxidize and turn darker shades of brown. Coins that have retained much of their original red color are extremely rare and highly sought after because they show minimal signs of aging and have preserved their original luster. These red or red-brown coins are among the most desirable in the series and can fetch incredible prices at auction. Collectors also pay close attention to the mint mark itself. Some 1958 pennies from the Denver Mint exhibit slight variations in the placement, size, or clarity of the D, which can increase their value even further. Coins with exceptionally clear and centered mint marks are generally preferred, especially if they are in uncirculated condition. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC receive numerical grades on the Sheldon scale ranging from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 65 or higher is considered exceptionally well preserved and can be worth a significant amount of money because it combines rarity, condition, and historical significance. Even though the Lincoln wheat penny was a common coin in everyday transactions during 1958, only a small fraction of these coins have survived in top condition. The rest were circulated extensively and show wear on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, or the wheat ears on the reverse side, which makes the high-grade examples increasingly rare. Over time, the scarcity of these well-preserved coins has fueled collector demand and driven prices steadily higher, making it one of the most rewarding series for numismatists to study and collect. Holding a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny connects you to the past in a tangible way. Every penny tells a story. It passed through countless hands, from the pockets of children to cash registers of stores to coin jars tucked away by families, and now, decades later, some of these coins have become highly prized collector's items that carry both historical significance and monetary value for anyone lucky enough to find one in pristine condition. It's like holding a small piece of American history that survived time almost perfectly intact. Even small details like die cracks, subtle doubling, or preserved luster can completely change a coin's story and its market value. These tiny features are the difference between an ordinary circulated penny and a rare collectible worth thousands of dollars. Collectors spend years studying every variation, every mark, and every strike to understand the history of each coin, because every detail contributes to its rarity and potential value. The thrill of discovering such a penny, even in your change, is what keeps the hobby of coin collecting alive and exciting. And now for the moment every collector has been waiting for: the most exceptional 1958 Lincoln wheat penny in near-perfect uncirculated condition with strong details, original color, and remarkable preservation has been valued at an astonishing $94,500. Yes, that's right, $94,500 for a single penny. So before you spend that old penny or overlook it in your jar, take a closer look, check the date, the mint mark, and examine the details on both sides. You could be holding a rare coin worth far more than its face value. Every Lincoln wheat penny has a story to tell, and some of those stories can change your life forever. Today we are going to explore one of the most iconic and historically significant coins in American history, the 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1944, a coin that may seem small and ordinary at first glance but carries with it a story of resilience, craftsmanship, and extraordinary value. This little penny is more than just currency, it is a piece of history that survived one of the most challenging periods in the world, and for collectors it has become a symbol of hope, endurance, and Opportunity. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it was the first circulating coin in the United States to feature a real person on its obverse. Previously, coins only featured allegorical figures or symbols of liberty. The decision to place Lincoln on the 1-cent coin was groundbreaking. It celebrated a president whose leadership, courage, and vision preserved the nation during its most turbulent times. The coin's sculptor Victor David Brenner captured Lincoln's determined expression and thoughtful gaze, creating a design that has stood the test of time for over a century and continues to captivate collectors and history enthusiasts alike. By 1944, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and every penny minted carried with it the weight of a nation at war. Millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia coins were struck without a mint mark, while the Denver coins bore a small d below the date. However, the historical context of the coin adds an extra layer of fascination. During these years, the composition of pennies was temporarily changed to include more steel in 1943 to conserve copper for the war effort, and by 1944 the mint had returned to the traditional copper alloy. But some coins from this year have interesting composition variations that can make them stand out to collectors. Holding a 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny connects you directly to the history of the United States at that time. On the obverse side you will find Abraham Lincoln facing right. The inscriptions read, "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1944 to the right with a small d below the date. If minted in Denver, turn the coin over to the reverse side and you will see the classic wheat ears design. 2 curved stalks frame the words 1 cent in the center with United States of America below and E pluribus unum at the top. The wheat ears symbolize the nation's agricultural roots and the prosperity the country hoped to achieve despite the ongoing war. The simplicity, elegance, and historical significance of this design make it one of the most beloved coins among collectors. What makes some 1944 Lincoln Wheat pennies particularly valuable are the rare minting errors and variations that occurred during production. Slight misalignments, double dies, and die cracks can transform an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. A famous example includes the 1944 over 1943 double die error, where some coins were accidentally struck using leftover 1943 steel planchets, resulting in a dramatic variation that is extremely rare and sought after by collectors. Other valuable varieties include pennies with repunched mint marks or subtle doubling on the date or lettering. These small imperfections are what make coin collecting so exciting, because no two error coins are exactly alike and they hold a unique story of the minting process from over 70 years ago. Condition plays an equally crucial role in determining a coin's value. Most 1944 pennies were heavily circulated and show wear on Lincoln's cheek jawline and the wheat ears on the reverse. However, coins that were carefully preserved in mint state condition with full luster and sharp details are much more valuable. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can fetch extremely high prices, especially when combined with rare errors or perfect minting characteristics. Collectors look for features like full bands on the torch of the dime or deep red luster on the penny, which indicate that the coin was struck with fresh dies and has been carefully protected over the decades. Even the metal composition can influence a coin's appeal. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny was struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc after the temporary steel pennies of 1943. This copper composition gives the coin its rich reddish-brown color. Coins that have retained their original red hue without fading or oxidation are highly prized because they indicate minimal wear and exceptional preservation. These coins stand out at auctions and are often the centerpiece of any collection of Lincoln Wheat pennies. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just a coin, it is a window into the past. Every penny tells a story of a nation at war, a people working tirelessly on the home front, and the everyday Americans who use these coins in daily transactions. It passed from pocket to pocket, from store counters to children's savings jars, and some of these pennies have survived the decades almost perfectly preserved, creating an extraordinary opportunity for collectors to own a tangible piece of history. Even subtle variations in mint marks or minor die errors can completely change a coin's story and value. These small details are why collectors examine each penny carefully, using magnification and professional grading to determine the coin's rarity and condition. The difference between a common circulated coin and a top-tier uncirculated coin with unique features can be tens of thousands of dollars, and the excitement of discovering one in a roll of change or a family collection is what keeps the passion for coin collecting alive. Now, for the moment every coin enthusiast waits for, the incredible value of the most exceptional 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny, one that has been perfectly preserved in mint state condition with strong details, vibrant original color and extraordinary eye appeal, has been valued at an astonishing $97,500. Yes, that's right, $97,500 for a single penny. So before you spend that old penny or overlook it in a jar, take a closer look at it, check the date, the mint mark, and the details on both sides, because you might be holding a rare and valuable piece of history that could be worth far more than its face value. Every Lincoln wheat penny tells a story, and some of those stories can transform a humble coin into a life-changing treasure. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible discoveries. Keep exploring, keep collecting, and remember that the next penny you find could be the one that changes everything.